Central California. This is ABC30 Action News, AM Live.
We continue to track breaking news from the Madera County mountains. Two wildfires are growing in size, one just north of Oakhurst and the other one is near North Fork. Officials say the fire near Oakhurst has burned more than 300 acres, and they say it could easily grow to 1,000 acres over the next few days.
Action News reporter Amanda Venegas joins us live now near the fire and has an update this morning on the conditions. Amanda, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Margo and Jason, I just spoke with the Forest Service, and they say they feel like they've made good progress overnight due to those lower temperatures. But this morning, we are getting a first-hand look at just all the smoke. Take a look behind me. We are live off Highway 41. This is the Welcome to Oakhurst sign that you just see the beautiful town, but this morning it is just covered in smoke, and you see the smoke from that fire just billowing. Now, this fire all unfolded yesterday off Sky Ranch Road. That's off Highway 41. It all started because of a vehicle fire, then sparked. As you know, we have some very dry grasses, and it took off. Hundreds of firefighters then took to the ground. They took to the air to fight this fire. At last point, I'm told 300 acres had been burned, 0% contained. This morning, fire officials say they feel like they are making good progress in that firefight. But this isn't the only fire burning in the foothills. Also in the North Fork area, at least 200 acres have burned. It all started around 8:30 last night near Corin Lake Road and Road 222 just south of the town. People living along both of those roads have been evacuated, and CAL FIRE says strong winds have been blowing that fire down into the San Joaquin River Canyon. Officials on scene say drier than normal conditions making the fire difficult to control. Now, coming up in our 6:30 hour, I'll have more on the firefight this morning for firefighters. Back to you guys in the studio.
Amanda, thanks for that update and those pictures of the smoke behind you. Just amazing. Yeah, thanks, Amanda.
Be safe out there. All right, Action News meteorologist Shelby Latino has a closer look now at the heat the firefighters will be dealing with today. Shelby?
Yeah, absolutely, Jason. They'll be dealing with a little bit of wind, and they'll also be dealing with that heat as well. Even though we are seeing temperatures running a few degrees cooler this morning, thanks to a breeze moving in. You can see Merced out of the west about 3 miles per hour right now. Fresno out of the northwest at about 7 miles per hour. We are going to continue to see that very, very slight breeze continuing into the foothill communities as well, but it could be just enough to hurt the firefighters' efforts against those fires. But taking a look at temperatures this morning, again, we're running a few degrees cooler. Still going to be a very hot day, not only in the valley, but also in the foothills. Let's take a look at satellite and radar. You can see all of that sunshine we're going to be seeing throughout the day across the entire state. But looking at today's planner, we do see temperatures climbing quickly thanks to that sunshine. So we start off a few degrees cooler this morning. We end up a few degrees cooler, but like I mentioned, still going to be a very hot day. 89 degrees by your lunch hour, 99 for a high today in Fresno. Jason?
Shelby, thank you. We continue to monitor developing news out of South Carolina. The man accused of killing 9 people inside of a historic black church in Charleston will be in court later today. 21-year-old Dylan Roof was flown to South Carolina last night after being captured more than 200 miles from the murder scene. Police say Roof shot and killed 6 women and 3 men, including the pastor of the Emmanuel AME Church. Investigators believe he was racist toward African Americans. Roof's friends have also come forward with similar claims. We'll have much more on Roof's background as well as new reaction from mourners coming up in our next half hour.
New this morning, prosecutors are set to rest their case today in the Colorado movie theater shooting trial. Prosecutors say their final witness will be a survivor of the attack. Ashley Mosier's 6-year-old daughter was killed in the rampage. Mosier herself was paralyzed in this shooting and then suffered a miscarriage weeks later. Prosecutors say the suspect, James Holmes, was not insane at the time he shot up a movie theater during a midnight premiere 3 years ago. 12 people were killed, more than 70 others were hurt. Defense attorneys are expected to begin their case next week.
New this morning, 2 escaped murderers from upstate New York have now been added to the 15 most wanted fugitive list. David Sweat and Richard Matt broke out of a maximum security prison nearly 2 weeks ago and are still on the run. The U.S. Marshals Service says the most wanted list is reserved for only the worst of the worst, and that Matt and Sweat certainly qualify. Sweat was serving a life sentence for murdering a deputy. Matt was convicted for murdering and dismembering another man. Police are now asking people living near the prison to look through home surveillance video from the past couple of weeks to see if they spot the 2 escaped murderers.
Fresno authorities say the suspects behind a string of robberies in the past 6 weeks are in jail this morning. The 4 suspects are accused in 11 robberies. Investigators say they stole $7,400 in cash, high-end alcohol, and lottery tickets from several stores. They say those stolen lottery tickets are what led them to the thieves.
Approximately an hour after the robbery, the Lottery Commission informed our detective that some winning tickets met with matching serial numbers were cached at several different convenience stores in Fresno.
Investigators say they were able to identify a suspect by obtaining a fingerprint off of a scratch-off lottery ticket.
A little dog named Harry is recovering this morning after surgery at the Madera County Animal Shelter. Someone actually found this puppy roaming around a park with its muzzle bound with a rubber band. It was actually wrapped around his muzzle several times. Harry had to get 50 stitches on his face because the wounds were so deep. The concerned person who found Harry dropped him off at the shelter for care.
Nothing. And he felt a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort and thirst, and he was starving too at the time.
It's just unfathomable to me that someone could do something like that, especially to a little innocent puppy.
Yeah.
But veterinarians expect Harry to make a full recovery within just a few months, and then he will go up for adoption. They're still looking for Harry's owner, who could face animal cruelty charges.
The 7th Central Valley Honor Flight mission is now complete. 65 veterans are back home in the valley this morning after this hero's welcome home. They toured military monuments in the nation's capital. They returned to Fresno last night to a warm and welcoming crowd. The veterans spent several days exploring Washington, D.C., visiting monuments and sharing war stories.
It took you back 70 years, and it was just a wonderful time of camaraderie with all of us.
In less than 2 years, the Central Valley Honor Flight has provided more than 500 vets with trips to D.C. The next flight takes off from Castle Airport in Atwater in October.
All right, Action News time now, 6:07. Coming up, we're live with team coverage from Charleston. New overnight reaction from U.S. lawmakers after that deadly church shooting.
And while we continue to track wildfires near our foothills, another wildfire is exploding in Southern California. It's grown now to more than 10,000 acres. An update on this inferno straight ahead.
But before we go, here's a live look at the South Valley from our exclusive Icelia Skycam. Take a look there. Looking nice. That looks like a picture. Shelby Latino is straight ahead with everything you need to know for your Father's Day weekend forecast.
This is ABC30 Action News AM Live with Margot Kim, Jason Oliveira, and meteorologist Shelby Latino with the Storm Warn 30 forecast.
All right, welcome back here to AM Live. We're getting you ready for your morning. Thank you for waking up with us. We're getting ready for Father's Day weekend. Going to be warm. You might want to head to the coast, but if not, hang out here for some sun. Take a look here. It's a nice picture. This is right now. This is a live shot. Right there, looking good, huh, Shelby Latino?
It looks great. Yeah, it's a beautiful shot by our Action News photographer, Matt Hackney there. This is near Oakhurst, so of course you're seeing some of that haze from the fire near Oakhurst right now, and we're going to continue to unfortunately see those hazy conditions. Wouldn't be surprised to see some haze making its way into the valley as well, and we'll also expect to see those air quality conditions affected. But let's talk about the temperatures right now, because what we're seeing out there at 101 for your high on Father's Day. That's a look at your weather. Now let's get a check on traffic with CHP Officer Mark McWilliams.
Good morning, Shelby, and good morning, everyone. Well, let's take a look at that live traffic tracker and talk about these 2 fires we have up in Madera County. The first one's going to be located on, looks like Road 222 near Corn Lake Road. Also, Road 222 is closed through that area in the North Fork area, so definitely keep that in mind if you normally travel that roadway. And also the Oakhurst area, Road 632 near State Route 41. Road 632 is closed east of Highway 41, so definitely keep that in mind. It's unknown how long these closures are going to remain in effect. Most likely likely until those fires are extinguished, but we're not sure how long that's going to take. Besides those two, everything else looking good down here on the valley floor. No major problems. And a quick look outside to 99 at Olive Avenue. See light traffic flowing through Fresno with no problems. That's Look Your Drive. I'm Officer McWilliams, the California Highway Patrol. Remind everyone to please be safe out there and buckle up. Jason and Margot, back to you.
All right, Mark, thank you.
All right, obviously it's Friday, and with Father's Day just a couple of days away, we're featuring one food this morning that most dads love.
Chef Shayna from the Young Chefs Academy shows us a recipe for some delicious ribs.
It's time to treat Dad this Sunday. And what do guys like more than meat and potatoes? Oftentimes, however, we are intimidated by the grill. So I'm going to show you how to make ribs in the slow cooker. Today, you're going to make a dredge for your ribs with Dad for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there, to my husband and my father-in-law, and we'll see you back next week.
And you can find Chef Shayna's recipes on our website, abc30.com/Chef Shayna. Action News Time is now 6:16. Why President Obama is waking up this morning in California.
But first, I'll be back to freak you out. The funny prank by the Terminator star himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Thank you.
And I'm Amanda Venegas live in Oakhurst, where we're getting a better view of this fire burning off Road 632. We'll tell you about the evacuations and the latest in this firefight coming up.
Fresno.
Let me do one with you.
You look real.
Because I am. Thank you.
That's good.
We've seen this before, but it's funny every time it happens. Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger used his most iconic character to pull off this stunt at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. The Governor patiently posed before springing to life on fans. And he did as he promised, saying, "I'll be back."
I like that he has a selfie stick walking around at the Chinese theater there.
Yep, and he's getting ready, of course, all to promote his next Terminator film, Genesis.
And I can only imagine that is going to be huge. There he is with a Terminator look-alike there.
Awesome.
All right.
Trading lines.
Yeah, it's now 6:20 right now. Let's now check in with meteorologist Shelby Latino. She's tracking everything we need to know as we creep into the weekend. What's going on, Shelby?
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the weekend. Jason, temperatures are in the and then a little bit of a cool down for next week. Margot, Jason.
Shelby, thank you.
All right, still to come here on Action News AM Live. Why Tiger Woods may be hanging his head this morning at the U.S. Open.
Plus, the local NBA star who came back to the Valley to inspire young people at his basketball camp.
Valley Honda dealer today.
All right, welcome back here to Action News AM Live. It's now 6:25. A Fresno native and pro basketball player back in the Valley this offseason. Quincy Pondexter plays for the New Orleans Pelicans. The San Joaquin Memorial grad comes back every year to help local kids learn how to hoop it up. And he made a surprise stop at a basketball camp at Emmanuel High School yesterday.
It's really good meeting Quincy and having him talk to us, because it was a good speech that he gave us to, no matter where you come from or no matter who you are when you're younger, if you work hard, then it'll pay off.
Now, Quincy is also hosting his own basketball camp. That starts next week. It'll start on Monday at Buchanan High School. That is open to kids of all ages.
We had him live here on AM Live a couple days ago. He's so nice and gracious.
Yeah, nice guy, nice guy.
Well, round 2 at the U.S. Open of Golf is about to get underway in Washington State.
That's right. Dustin Johnson and Hendrick Stenson are sitting atop the leaderboard this morning. But the big story, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods actually trails the leaders by 15 strokes. Tiger just, well, not very Tiger-like. His day included 8 bogeys and even a triple bogey. But fan favorite Phil Mickelson started off on fire before cooling off just a bit on the back nine. Lefty finished with a 1 under par 69. Tiger with an 80, and it just, for whatever reason, the swing just isn't there. He's not hitting it straight, and Tiger Woods, he definitely has some work to make up there.
Got to get his mojo back.
Yeah.
Action News Time is now 6:26. Coming up in our next half hour, we continue our live team coverage of the deadly church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina.
But first, new overnight video from North Fork after a fire explodes in size in just a matter of hours.
And I'm Amanda Venegas at Live in Oakhurst, where another fire is burning. Coming up this morning, we'll have the latest details on the firefight and the evacuations.
Thanks, Amanda. We'll check in with you soon. But first, here's a look at this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Twitter is branching out.
The site is reportedly working on a new feature that makes it easier to monitor the most talked about stories.
ABC30 Action News AM Live starts now with 15 minutes of nonstop news.
At 6:30, we continue to track breaking news this morning. 2 wildfires are still exploding in size in the Madera County foothills thanks to dry conditions and high heat. A fire north of Oakhurst broke out yesterday afternoon, and last night firefighters got word of another fire burning near North Fork.
We have team coverage on the wildfire. CHP officer Kirk Arnold shows us the roads that are closed by the flames. Meteorologist Shelby Latino is tracking the hot weather conditions, but we begin with Action News reporter Amanda Venegas, who is live just north of Oakhurst with an update. Good morning, Amanda.
Hey, good morning, Jason and Margo. We can tell you about 250 people were evacuated because of the Sky Fire. That includes campers who were camping locally nearby and also people living nearby. This morning, we've been told 300 acres burned, 0% contained, but fire officials say they feel they made good progress overnight, but I can tell you they are very concerned about warming temperatures and all this dry brush. Now, this morning, we are live off Highway 41 and really getting a bird's eye view. As you can see, that smoke just filling this entire area. You can't even see the town of Oakhurst. Normally this time of day you're seeing a clear picture, a beautiful picture on a summer day, but it is filled with smoke. Now this fire all unfolded yesterday off Highway 41 near Road 632. That fire sparking because of a vehicle fire. Now firefighters rushed to the area, fighting it by ground and by air. Now this is burning on U.S. forest land. Campgrounds had to be evacuated, several residences, as well as about 200 kids from the Calvin Crest Christian camp, as well as their counselors. Officials say they went into overdrive to make sure those kids could get out and were safe.
I don't know if it's on fire or not, and so all of us are sort of sitting here on pins and needles and praying and just trying to make sense of this time right now.
The American Red Cross has set up an evacuation center at Sierra Vista Church in Oakhurst, and they say this morning, though, about 30 to 40 people spent the night at that evacuation center, and this morning, fire officials hoping to make good progress on that, and once again reminding people to sign up for the mcalert.org. That way you know if your home is in danger. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Amanda, for that update.
And we continue to track breaking news out of North Fork, where another wildfire is getting bigger this morning. This is new video from an area near Corinne Lake Road and Road 222, just south of the town. Police living along both of those roads have been evacuated. The fire sparked around 8:30 last night and has already burned at least 200 acres.
For early June, we're experiencing extremely dry conditions because of the drought, obviously. We're having an extremely active burning during nighttime operations, which in years past we've been able to catch fires like this.
Cal Fire officials say more crews will be arriving on the scene in the next few hours to try and get a handle on the blaze. Right now, there is no word on any containment.
These wildfires certainly affecting our weather conditions and our air quality. So for the latest on that, let's check in with meteorologist Shelby Latino in our Storm Warn 30 Center, tracking those changes minute by minute. Shelby?
That's right, Margo, Jason. We're seeing those changes occurring, some winds. We're also seeing those temperatures starting to warm up now that the sun is up. We had a beautiful sunrise around the valley. Unfortunately, it was largely due to that haze and the smoky conditions coming from these fires. So here's a look at your foothills forecast. We are expecting 97 for a high in Oakhurst near Mariposa, or near North Fork, about 93. So temperatures are going to be fairly hot out there for firefighters today, even though they're a couple degrees cooler than where we were yesterday. So looking at satellite and radar, a lot of sunshine expected out there. So it is going to be a very hot day. Temperatures in the valley right now dipping into the 50s and 60s, but also expected to rise into those mid to upper 90s and even the triple digits for some spots in the South Valley. That's a look at your weather. Now let's get a check on traffic with CHP Officer Mark McWilliams. Obviously some closures, Mark, because of those fires.
Yeah, you're right, Shelby. We do have a few road closures up there to do this fire, so let's take a look at that live traffic tracker. Let's talk about that Corinne Lake Road fire near Road 222. Looks like Road 222 is closed in that area for fire personnel and also to keep everyone safe from that fire. So definitely keep that in mind. North Fork people use that a lot. Probably are going to have to find an alternate route. And also Road 632 near or east of State Route 41 is closed also. It's unknown how long these two closures are going to remain in place, but definitely keep this in mind and just be safe, and if you can, avoid those two areas all day today. Besides that, down here in the Fresno area, everything's looking good. No major problems to tell you. So that's a look at your traffic. I'll go ahead and send it back to Jason and Margot in the studio.
All right, Mark, thank you. And we continue to track developing news out of South Carolina this morning. The community of Charleston is banding together after 9 people were shot and killed inside of a historic church Wednesday evening. The suspect accused in the rampage will now head to court later this morning. Investigators say 21-year-old Dylan Roof had a deep hatred for African Americans. We have live team coverage now this morning, beginning with ABC's Kenneth Moten in Charleston. Good morning, Kenneth.
Good morning, Jason, and we have new information this morning. ABC News has confirmed through law enforcement sources that the suspect, 21-year-old Dylan Roof, has confessed to this deadly mass shooting, and we are told he is cooperating with this investigation.
A memorial of flowers, balloons, and candles outside Emmanuel AME Church. Prayer circles throughout the South Carolina city of Charleston.
We will get through it. Our church will get through it. It's tough times, but I know for a fact everybody will press on.
Chris Singleton's mother, Sharonda Coleman Singleton, was one of 9 victims targeted and killed by suspected gunman 21-year-old Dylan Roof. It happened after a Bible study at the historic Black church Wednesday night.
My mom was a God-fearing woman. She loved everybody with all her heart.
Roof was captured just outside Charlotte, North Carolina, 12 hours after the shooting that also killed well-known state senator and the church's pastor, Clementa Pinckney.
Clemente was a cousin, but in some ways he was like a brother to us. As a young boy, my father took him under his wings, and my father worked with him and mentored him.
Federal law enforcement officers are now investigating the shooting as a possible hate crime. Survivors and the suspect's friends say he spewed hate.
He said that he thought that the black in general as a race was bringing down the white race.
But while Roof is accused of trying to divide, there's only been unity after tragedy.
And again, this suspect, Dylan Roof, will stand before a judge in just a few hours here. The charges against him, and ABC News again has confirmed through law enforcement sources that he has confessed to these 9 killings. That is the latest. Reporting live here in Charleston, South Carolina, Kenneth Moten for Action News AM Live. Margot, back to you.
Kenneth, thank you for that update. People around the country are coming together to grieve along with the people in Charleston. President Obama called the shooting a senseless tragedy and says he's angered by the unnecessary gun violence. Our team coverage continues now with ABC's Lana Zach in Washington, D.C. with new overnight reaction from the nation's capital. Lana?
Good morning, Margot. Yes, on social media and local churches, Americans across the country have gathered together in hope and prayer as the nation tries to deal with this unspeakable tragedy. From pastors
we come pray for the members of Emmanuel Church
to the president.
Now is the time for mourning and for healing.
The nation's prayers are focused on the 9 innocent lives lost in Charleston, South Carolina.
To say our thoughts and prayers are with them and their families and their community doesn't say enough to convey the heartache and the sadness and the anger that we feel.
In Washington, Democrats and Republicans joined together in sympathy.
The depth of our grief reveals the depth of our love and our resolve.
But politics divided reactions to calls for gun control in the wake of the tragedy.
We still have hope.
Prayers from New York to Florida.
Just breathe on South Carolina right now, God.
In communities already struggling with racial strife, this alleged hate crime is particularly troubling.
Of course, I'm angry that he did it, but the Bible I use teaches us to love.
Love sent from across the country to South Carolina.
And the heart and soul of South Carolina was broken.
And the mourning is expected to continue today across the country. There are vigils and candlelit walks all planned for today. The largest is expected to be in Charleston at 6 o'clock p.m. For Action News AM Live, I'm Lana Zach. Back to you, Margot and Jason.
All right, Lana, thank you for that live report. Happening now, another wildfire continues to scorch the San Bernardino National Forest in Southern California. 10,000 acres have burned so far. This is near Big Bear Lake. The fire exploded in size since it sparked Wednesday afternoon. Containment is only about 5%, and there is no word yet on a cause. The flames are threatening a few homes and cabins, and 4 summer camps in the area have been evacuated. The evacuees are now staying at a nearby high school.
We're coming up on 6:40 now. Time for a check on your forecast. And here's a live look from our China Peak sky cam. And anywhere you are in the valley, you might notice that haze lingering in the air from our local wildfires in the foothills. Let's get to Shelby Latino in our Storm Warn 30 Center for a look at those changing conditions. Shelby?
Thanks, Margot. We are going to see things getting a little bit warmer this afternoon, although as we head into early next week, seeing the mid to upper 90s. Jason, Margot?
All right, Shelby, thank you. We have new details this morning on what now has become a deadly shooting in Madera. An ABC30 insider sent us this picture from the scene. Police say the victim was shot and killed just after 10 last night in a neighborhood near Lake and Ellis. Investigators say the victim died overnight at Community Regional Medical Center in downtown Fresno. His name has not yet been released, and police are still searching for the gunman.
President Obama is waking up this morning in California ahead of some Democratic fundraisers. You can see his motorcade here as it was headed to Pacific Palisades last night for a roundtable event hosted by Chuck Lorre. He's the producer behind such hit comedy series as 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory. Officials say 30 Democrats attended the event, paying more than $33,000 each. The president has more fundraisers today and plans to spend Father's Day weekend in Palm Springs.
All right now it is 6:44. Coming up next on AM Live, find out which holiday sees more spending, Mother's Day or Father's Day.
Plus, can stocks stage a rally as we head into Father's Day weekend? Maybe after the weekend. We're down 22 points. We'll bring you the latest numbers in a live report from New York.
New Truly Radiant.
This is ABC30 Action News AM Live with Margot Kim, Jason Oliveira, and meteorologist Shelby Latino with the Storm Warn 30 forecast.
All right, welcome back here. We are looking live at the East Bay. Oh, yeah, we're getting ready for the Golden State Warriors Championship Parade. Thousands of people already lining up.
Wow.
It is 6:48 in the morning. We've got people lining up. We've got floats all together. Now, actually, San Francisco's Gay Pride Parade is next weekend, so they were able to borrow some of those floats to use for today's parade. The parade begins at 10 a.m., but fans have been saving their spots along the route since late last night. People have been waiting for decades for this.
Yeah.
So you know they're going to get out there early, and great to see so much team spirit and, fan support out there in Oakland for the Golden State Warriors Parade. All right, in business news now. Investors are looking for a rally before Father's Day.
That would be a nice gift for him. Maribel Aber joins us live from the NASDAQ market site in New York to see how those numbers are starting out. Good morning, Maribel.
Good morning to you, Margot and Jason. Yep, stocks are trying to keep a 3-session winning streak alive, but not so far this morning. The Dow down 33 points, NASDAQ down 7, and the S&P down 4. Shares of Martha Stewart's company jumped 26% yesterday. The gain came after the Wall Street Journal reported the company is nearing a takeover, and the potential deal is with Sequential Brands. Sequential buys brands and then licenses them to manufacturers and retailers. And the estimates on spending are in, and it's not even close when it comes to what we spend for Father's Day versus Mother's Day. The average consumer will spend about $115 this year on gifts for dad. Meanwhile, shoppers spend an average of $172 on gifts for mom this year. All of this is according to the National Retail Federation. If you total it all up, spending on dad this year is expected to be almost $13 billion, but spending for mom topped $21 billion according to the NRF. Margot and Jason, you know what? Dads usually give great advice. Jason, what advice do you give your sons?
What advice do I give? Give dad good gifts for Father's Day. That's what I say.
Wait, that advice benefits you.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Well.
See what you get when you ask, Maribel? That's what you get.
No ugly ties for Father's Day. How about that?
All right, Maribel, thank you.
All right, right now it's 6:50. Let's now check in with Shelby Latino. She's got our weather as we get ready for Father's Day weekend. Shelby?
Yeah, got some good advice for all the dads out there. Make sure that closings. Let's get over to CHP Officer Mark McWilliams. He's got a look at that for us. Mark?
Good morning, Shelby, and good morning, everyone. Well, let's bring up that live traffic tracker. Let's take a look at Merced area first. Merced's looking good. We really have no collisions up there, no major problems whatsoever. But back up towards the foothills, towards Oakhurst, we do have some vegetation fires up in that area. First Road 632 near State Route 41, or just east of 41, is closed due to that vegetation fire in that area. So please be aware of that. And also Road 222 near Corinne Lake Road is also closed. So please be aware of that as well. Avoid both of those areas while fire crews work on those fires. Besides that, everything else looking good on the floor, valley floor. That's a look at your traffic. I'll send it back to Jason and Margot in the studio.
All right, Mark, thank you.
All right, right now it is 6:51. Straight ahead, another update on breaking news.
Another live update from the fires burning near Oakhurst and North Fork that are forcing evacuations.
Welcome back here, 6:54. We continue to track breaking news from Madera County. This is out in the mountains. 2 wildfires are growing in size, one just north of Oakhurst and the other one is near North Fork.
Action News reporter Amanda Venegas joins us live near Oakhurst with an update on both fires and some brand new details for us at this moment. Amanda?
Jason and Margot, we've just learned the Sky Fire here in the Oakhurst area has burned 400 acres and is 15% contained. Now, they're ramping up their efforts. About 600 to 700 firefighters are out here fighting this fire. Now, I have to show you guys a bird's eye view of this. Look how smoky the town of Oakhurst is. You can't even, usually you can see the mountains, the beautiful pines, not right now because that fire has just been running overnight. They do say they made good progress overnight on that, and they expect to continue fighting it. One of the challenges is that steep terrain. They've had to bring in hand crews actually to get to the area. This all unfolded yesterday due to a car fire, and the hot, dry land just made that fuel run. We also want to let you know there is another fire also burning nearby. That is in the North Fork area, and we're seeing some of the smoke from this ridge. It all started around 8:30 near Corinne Lake Road and Road 222. That's just south of town. Now, people living along both of the roads have been evacuated. CAL FIRE says those strong winds have been blowing that fire down into the San Joaquin River Canyon. But back out here in the Oakhurst area, I have just learned from fire officials, they say that the Calvin Christian Center is in good shape. No impact due to that fire. No other structures have been threatened. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Amanda, thank you for that live update.
All right, let's get one final check of our weather as we head into the Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, heading into Father's Day weekend, we are feeling a little bit of a cool down this morning. Temperatures only in the 60s as we start off the day, so a nice start for us. 61 in both Merced and Madera, also seeing 65 in Fresno. But despite this cool start, it is still going to be a hot afternoon, although slightly cooler than yesterday. 99 for a high today, triple digits. Return for your Father's Day weekend.
A lot of people heading to Pismo for the car show this week and get out of the heat.
Thanks for joining us here on AM Live. Good Morning America is next.
We'll see you again with more news, traffic, and weather at 7:25.
Bye-bye.